What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the No Huddle. We finally have actual football to actually talk about. There was some games played last night. There's some games going on now, and there's a full slate of games for tomorrow, Saturday. There we go. Get rid of that. So anyway, on top of the games, the news did not slow down this week. Okay, so we got some news. We have major suspension in Atlanta that broke today. Quarterback decision in Minnesota that could completely change the future of J.J. McCarthy. Deshaun Watson getting his first game action in almost 2 years. And a big injury in San Francisco. Vita Vea is still sitting there after asking to be traded out of Tampa Bay. And a lot more. So tonight we're going to hit the games. We're going to hit the biggest stories around all 32 teams. Keep an eye on the live scores. And then I want to hear from you guys when I open up the phone lines. Keep in mind the phone lines are not open right now. The phone lines will be open in about 45 minutes or so to an hour. Tell me what you saw, what you're buying, and what you're not buying into, and which team should actually be worried after preseason game number 1 has been played. Now, keep in mind, some games coming tomorrow. So let's start this. What's up, everybody? And just a reminder, this guy runs on Duncan, baby. So I hope everybody's settled in tonight, ready for the talk about what's going on in the last week since I was last on the No Huddle. So remember, no huddle, no timeouts, no excuses. So we got some games to talk about. We had a few games played last night. We got a few going on right now as we speak. And we got a bunch slated for tomorrow. So we're going to go over those games that have already been played. We'll update the scores on the games that are going on now. And I'll run through the full list of games that are going on Saturday. But what we're going to do is we're going to get into starting with the Thursday night games that happened this week. Before we do that, though, we're going to hit up the chat. Let's see who's in here with us. So let's see. We have AO Raiders. Anthony's in the house. Raider Ryan's here. Rorschach's in the house. I saw your comment about the WhatsApp and all that. Yeah, I got to figure something out with that. Jack Gustafe's here. What's going on, brother? Gunsmoke's in the house. Ardell hitting me up with the thumbs up. 10 joules already. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. I love you guys. Dixon Sight is in the house. Russia says, I'm buying stock in Mendoza for sure. Kid look poised and unfazed. Only can get better, and I'll take 12 to 15 years of that. Mendoza. Chewy new. Let him develop. Okay. So, we're going to get into Thursday night recap. So, basically, we'll start with the Bengals-Lions last night. Bengals beat the Lions 16-14. There's 6 games that we're going to talk about. This is the first one. And this score's not really the thing here that I cared about. I just wanted to see what Joe Burrow was going to do. They did play around a little bit with their offense where he's going to play a lot more under center. Jeff, you got suspended 3 games? Yeah, I did. I can't go to the home opener. I can't go to L.A., man. Sorry. What's up, Dave? The intro, outro, man. Absolutely. Dave is the man that put that video together for me. He's the one that came up with all the footage, laid it out to the music, and absolutely terrific job. He's going to be helping me while I'm on my West Coast trip. I'm going to be sending him files and videos, and he's going to help put stuff together. So when I come home, it's just a matter of finalizing some stuff and have a nice compilation of things to go out. So we're going to have some good footage from this trip. Tyler A's in here. What's up, Tyler A? And Bueno, how you doing, buddy? How you been? Nice avatar. Thank you. Loser. Did your fridge make that? Did your kids put crayons inside the fridge and that's what it came up with? So anyway, Cincinnati's talked about adding more under center play action element this year, and Burrow got 2 drives out of it. On 7 of his 13 snaps, he was under center. He completed both of his passes from that look for 25 yards. His first throw was a 16-yard play action completion to Jamar Chase. So from a scheme standpoint, it looked good. It looked encouraging. The part Cincinnati absolutely will not like is that Burrow taking hits in August because he did get kind of smacked around. He was sacked on the first drive. He took a hard hit after Orlando Brown gave up a quick pressure. So that didn't help either. But again, it's preseason, so this stuff's going to happen. They got to balance everything out. You want the time in the work. You want the live reps for sure. And you don't want your franchise quarterback getting smoked in a game that doesn't count. That's the thing that you don't want to have happen. And we're going to address that about the Raiders game last night too, because as a Raiders fan, there's one thing I was extremely happy about last night. So see if you guys can guess it while we're going through this. On other games, Steelers and the Packers. Steelers beat the Packers 28-9. The name everybody's going to talk about is the rookie quarterback, Drew Aller. 10 completions on 13 attempts, 153 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and another running one in. Okay. Let's see what Jason just sent me. Jason sent me a text. You better have clothes on and not feet shots, too. Where are you? So tonight's show on Fight or Flight. Chris Freitas, Nabman, Sacktown Mike, Rebel, Raider Nation. Dude, I got my popcorn ready. Oh, my God. What time's that come on, Jason? Just put it in the chat. Everybody will see it. All right, let me just catch up with the chat here real quick, because I know a few people popped in since I started. AI's getting out of hand. At least mine is real. Oh, my God. Yeah, true. You kind of moved that one around a little bit. Don't be mad because you have a Kenny Pickett hand. Little hands. Jeff, all in all, that's my guy right there, Raiders. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you've done for me, man, for sure. And Rorschach with the 10 jewels sending me the gold coin. I'll have to use that in Vegas. Maybe I got lucky. Let's see. Mendoza throwing that fat side of the field out route on time and on a rope is a sight for sore eyes. Marcus Banks in the house. What's up, Marcus? Jason is here. All right, so 7 p.m. West Coast time, so that's 10 o'clock my time. So that's in an hour. Okay. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Far side, fat side. I get it. All right, so where were we? Yeah, I mean, as far as Drew Aller, I know a lot of people have talked about it already today. I've heard people mention how good he looked. I mean, what more can you ask for a rookie in his first NFL-style game? Yes, it's preseason. It doesn't matter, though. He's still out there doing it. And kudos to him. You know, good for him. Maybe Pittsburgh's got a quarterback for the future. We'll have to wait and see. You know, just like we supposedly have our quarterback of the future. Verdict's out on everybody right now. It was one preseason game, a few quarters played, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what happens as the season go on. Steelers also got a strong look from receiver Jermaine Bernard. I guess he had a good day. 4 catches, 51 yards, and he showed some run after catch ability. Their top receivers were sitting, so it was all their backups and their rookies that were out there. So this is exactly the kind of night where a rookie can force the coaches to find him snaps, which is another thing that's already happened with the Raiders, which we will discuss because there is a Raider section in this that I'm going to discuss about. So my question for Pittsburgh fans is simple. Preseason or not, how much do you let one night change the way you look at your backup quarterback room? Because Al looked comfortable, decisive, and productive. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with them and that goes. I mean, either way, they're going to be looking for a starter next year because Aaron Rodgers should be done after this. He shouldn't have even come back this year, to be honest with you. So a couple more games here for Thursday night. Colts-Patriots finish with a tie, 13-13. Anthony Richardson was one of the most interested players on the field because this is – Severe's calling me. I can't answer that, Severe. Maybe he's calling me by accident. It's not just about where is he? Anthony Richardson was one of the most interesting players on the field because this is not just about a preseason game for him. They're showboating him because he's out there as a possible trade bait. And it didn't look good for him. Didn't look good for the Colts. So Daniel Jones is definitely the clear quarterback in Indianapolis. So they're trying to hold Richardson's trying to hold off Riley Leonard for the number 2 spot while his name also sits in trade speculation. So these are Richardson's stats for yesterday. He finished 11 for 14, 145 yards and an interception. He did run for 53 yards and scored on a 1-yard sneak. Box score does look decent, but he had a lost fumble along with that interception, and a lot of passing production came on screen. So if this is supposed to be a showcase of what he does for talent or what he has for talent, it probably didn't look good for him, to be honest with you. And this is where it gets interesting, though. Richardson was the 4th overall pick in 2023. Now we're talking about whether he's QB2 or QB3 or a trade piece. So he's gone from being the number 4 overall pick. And remember, a lot of Raider fans wanted us to draft him when he came out. I was totally against it. Didn't have enough experience in college. I think he played only a total of like 13 games. I'm good. Not all for that. That is pretty dramatic turn in 3 years if you think about it. So we'll see what happens with him if he gets traded or not. I don't know. I don't know a lot of teams are going to be calling for him. That is a drop-off, big-time drop-off. That's huge. Let me catch back up with the chat here. I know I'm way behind on the chat because I'm trying to get through the news as fast as possible because I know you guys want to call in tonight. You guys are dying to get on the phone. So Kenny Pickett looked good in preseason for the Steelers too. Let's see. What's up, Edgar Sosa? I see you in here, brother. What's going on? Yeah, he's back to the Steelers. When I'm not running, I was using his AI fridge to type in his chat. When he sends it, it makes old dial-up AOL sounds. What's up, Great Value Rock? Yeah, thank God football's back, man. It was just fun to watch a football game again, especially with the Raiders too. That was beautiful. Mariota left with a knee injury in Washington. Oh, okay. They're playing now, aren't they, right? Are they playing right now? Who is playing right now? I will be running through that. Oh, yeah, they are. Okay. HUDDLE, Anthony, drop off. I wanted nothing to do with the guy. So next game up, Chargers Texans. Chargers win 27-7. I'm not sure where they were playing. I think they might have been in Houston. I'm not sure. I'm not going to turn preseason score into a regular season prediction, but the Chargers handled the game pretty comfortably from what I saw, what I read. What's up, Charm City? I see you in here, brother. One bright spot for Houston was rookie safety Kamari Ramsey. He picked off Trey Lance near the red zone and returned it 40 yards. He finished with 2 passes defended. Houston already has a really talented secondary, so if he can become a mainstay for them, you're talking about a defense that's going to get even better this year because not only do they have a formidable up front, now you bring in a young-ass rookie like him. The future for him is looking pretty bright and promising. So he could become another usable piece back there. It's definitely that's a good problem for DeMarco Murray, that's for sure. For the Chargers, you take the win, you take the clean reps, and you move on. Nobody gets a parade for going 1-0 in the preseason, but we all know how Chargers fans are, right? Right. But you would rather have your young depth guys looking organized than looking lost, absolutely, because we sure didn't do that. We looked lost in a lot of phases last night. And here we go. Cardinals, Raiders. Cardinals defeat the Raiders 27-14. Arizona beat us 27-14, and there are two big things coming out of this one. Okay. First, Arizona running back Jeremiah Love. He looked good. He looked really good. I'm impressed with him. You fantasy guys out there, fantasy football guys, keep an eye on him this preseason. See how much he plays, because I think he's got the look. He's got the goods. I think he can be something, especially in a fantasy option as like a third running back for now until he's totally meshed with this offense and the game speed of an NFL football. So he's a good one to keep an eye on for sure. He had 11 carries, 58 yards, plus he had 3 catches for 15 yards in the first half. Now, he didn't play a lot after that. He was pretty much done after the first half. Again, he started kind of slow. You know, like our first team defense kind of had him pinned a little bit. He didn't explode until our twos got out there. But again, it is a rookie. It will take him a little bit of time, but I saw some great promise from him, especially once he's in the open field. Forget it. And he started ripping off some chunk runs too. I mean, he had one, I think, that was like he had a couple of 12s of 15-yard runs, a few 7s. So his average overall wasn't bad when he was out there against the twos anyway. The second thing is the Raiders quarterback room. So Kirk Cousins opened the game and went 5 for 5. Kirk Cousins opened the game. He went 5 for 5 for 50 yards with the touchdown. He led a 10-play drive and the touchdown to Michael Mayer, and I talked to Jason earlier, and he agreed with me. Anybody that watched that game and watched Michael Mayer score that touchdown, I got immediate flashbacks to the 80s of a particular tight end that we had in the 80s with the number 47. For some reason, it was just the way after he received the ball, he made one move, and just the way his body was positioned on the field and his size, I flash back. Now, I'm not calling him this. I'm not saying he's going to be this guy. But he just, in that moment, that split-second moment just before he crossed the goal line, reminded me of Todd Christensen. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I thought for a few moments I was in the 80s again. And I was like, he had a hell of a drive. Now, keep in mind, Brock Bowers did start the game opposite of Michael Mayer. So they were both out there for the first few plays. But then Brock Bowers came out. He never came back on the field. Michael Mayer was out there for that whole first drive. And he was an integral part of it. Michael Mayer had a pretty good game last night, and it's nice to see him getting involved early, not later down the stretch or anything, but early in the game. Excuse me, I think I might sneeze. Nope, I'm good. So I'm pleased with what I saw with him for sure. Let's see. Yeah, Jaden Daniels' drama is ridiculous. Just trying to catch up with the chat here. Thank you, Great Value. I appreciate that, man. I love this Friday night show because I not only get to talk a little bit of Raiders here and there, but I get to talk about the entire NFL. And you don't see a lot of shows out there of a particular, YouTuber like myself that does 90% of his stuff is Raiders stuff, but then also talk a lot of NFL. And I think this is one thing that fan bases are missing is somebody in their fan base talking about the other teams in the league, because don't forget, we have to play these other teams, and any little bit of tidbit stuff you can pick up about another team only makes you educated on the team that you have to play and knowing some of these players and some of their tendencies. So you're not just sitting there blindly just watching the football and only knowing about our team. You know about their players on their defense. You know about the players on their offense. Their coaches, what their tendencies are. Things that I bring up. So I love doing this. Yeah, Jeremiah Love looked good. I'm sorry. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him, too. Let's see. Alex is here. What's up, Alex? I see you, brother. That was Love that hurdled the guy, was it? Yeah, he did. He did. I forgot who it was, but I did look it up when it happened, and I can't remember whose name it was now. Yeah, we're going to go over that, too. Jordan Meredith, he did not look very good out there either, sorry to say. And that's just it. That's all the Dolphins have. They have A-Chain. That's it. The receivers are gone. Waller's gone. New quarterback down there. New head coach. What's up, Raider Ryan? I see you in here, brother. So getting back to the Raiders, the biggest thing I noticed, where is he? Michael Mayer for Fernando. Yeah, all right. So then Fernando came in, and he went 10 for 16, 97 yards, and a touchdown over 4 offensive series. So Mendoza got 4 drives out of this game. And fantasy helps too, definitely. The biggest thing I noticed with Mendoza was the moment did not look too big for him. He came out there and he kind of handled the majority of it with poise and a lot of promise, I see. I am going to talk good about him because, again, it's his first time in NFL experience like that in a game situation. You know, it's one thing to be out there in practice and, he threw a touchdown in practice. Blah, blah. It's what you do on the field in an actual game time situation. And just remember that under center work is one of the biggest adjustments from what he did in college. So he is still getting used to that. I think he's all right. He did show touch over the middle, and on limited snaps he took from under center, he did look somewhat comfortable back there, which was a good thing. It gives us some hope for the future, basically. You know, now again, I'm not saying in one preseason game means you hand the kid the job. I'm just saying he looked like he belonged, and that matters. He looked the image. He looked the part. So, again, in time, we'll tell. Okay, we're going to cover the Raiders a little bit more, too, later on, but I want to get through the rest of the Thursday night scores. And Marcus Banks, I know you're probably still in here, I hope. The last game from Thursday night, the Titans beat the 49ers 19-13. So shout out to Marcus Banks pulling off a win in preseason, him being a huge Tennessee Titans fan and respected throughout Raider Nation, being in all our chats, and such a wonderful dude, man. So Tennessee beat San Francisco. Cam Ward didn't really have the night he wanted. He went 5 for 12 for 57 yards on 3 drives against 49ers backups. Okay. He missed some throws that should have been routine. He looked out of rhythm, and he nearly got in trouble trying to create an outside structure. So nobody should be panicking over one preseason game, that's for sure. Just like the Raiders fans should not be panicking over one preseason game. This is exactly what August is for. It's to work out the kinks, you know. But when you're a second-year quarterback and the team is building around your development, people are going to watch every step that you make or every rep closely. So it makes sense, okay? Hand the job to kid. Shut up. For San Francisco, rookie receiver DeJon Stribling was a major positive. 7 catches on 8 targets, 63 yards. And God knows the 49ers need wide receiver help. And he did, again, working against Tennessee's starting unit. So he was out there against Tennessee's first-string defense, and he pulled that off. So that's pretty impressive. Again, with the 49ers dealing with their receiver injuries, that performance definitely could earn him a real role. Does he make the 53-man roster based on this? I think so. Hell yeah. If he keeps it up for the rest of the preseason, I think he's a shoo-in for sure. All right. Out of those 6 games, tell me in the chat who actually changed your opinion. Not who had a good stat line. Who changed your opinion? Drew Aller, Fernando Mendoza, Jeremiah Love, or did Cam Ward make you a little bit more nervous than you already were? If you're a Tennessee Titans fan, you know, are you worried? You know, Marcus, are you worried about your quarterback situation there? I don't know who their backup is off the top of my head. I would have to look that up. But so that's the recap on those games. So let me just catch up with the chat, and then I will hit up the games that are going on right now. Yeah, fantasy football helps. We need more linebackers. The Bergs, yeah, we're gonna cover some of that too. Jokes on your Rorschach, I go commando. That's disgusting. Vanilla out there. Offense did look good. The first string offense I thought was fine. Offensive line looked good too. Vanilla out there. Defenses still need same work. We knew that. Yeah, defense looked a little rough. Colin, brother, I know that you got plenty of good takes and jokes to say. No deer in the headlights for Fernando. And that's a good thing, you know. 2026. Hand the job to kid. Book of Epstein. You're such a dink. Minshew looking good against third string. He actually looked good all the way around, to be honest with you, because even against the first string, he took him down and scored. So I was kind of really hoping for Carson Beck. I want to see Carson Beck and Mendoza go against each other, you know, rematch of the championship game, but obviously that didn't happen. So let's see, where are we? Some crazy people calling for Carnell Tate to get benched. What's up, Eric? Minshew looking good against the Raiders as usual, right? G-Fam's in the house. What's up, G-Fam? Alla had a good night, but let's not crown him a king. Oh, no, I'm not either, but I'm just saying he had a good game, so it's good for him. James Furpo's in the house. What's up, James Furpo? Drew Aller is a competitor and has a cannon arm. Agreed. Let's see how he handles the real defenses. Correct. What's up, Electric? Raiders are cool. Yes, we are. Fans are awesome. Frank Webb is in the house. What's up, Frank? I guess I'm canceling my Tokyo Toe jersey. Yeah, he's too much of a work in progress, that kid. He's too much of a project, I should say. I think it's time for special teams to stop making some phone calls and getting some kickers in as a competition for Gay the rest of this preseason. I just don't see it. Still preseason, Minshew still ain't nothing. Correct. Not arguing there. So we're gonna stick with the Raiders for a few minutes here. All right. We're gonna talk about some QB battles heating up in the NFL here. And again, I want to stay with the Raiders for a few minutes because the story changed this afternoon. So Clint Kubiak came out and said all three quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins, Fernando, and Aiden O'Connell, deserve first-team reps. And the coaching staff is putting together a plan on how to split those reps between the three. All right. Now, again, this isn't the same thing as saying Kirk Cousins lost the starting job. This is basically Kubiak repeated that the job is still Cousins to lose. So Cousins is still the starter. And honestly, Cousins did what you wanted him to do last night. The way he went out there and performed, he's still the guy at this point. 5 of 6 and a touchdown drive, that's pretty good. But I don't know what more you wanted from him at that point. And he got out healthy. And that's what I wanted to say earlier about that's the biggest positive out of this game is we got out of this game healthy. Nobody got carted off the field. There was no words of anybody being done for the season. Everybody came out of this healthy. We're at home, so everybody got to go home, sleep in their own bed, relax. So that's a beautiful thing right there. The fact that we had no injuries, major injuries especially, that's huge. That's a giant feather on our cap. Okay, now let's just continue this the rest of the preseason at this point. So he got out healthy, and again, that's a veteran quarterback doing his job. He went out there, did what you asked him to do, and I think he performed excellent out there. So Kirk Cousins is exactly as advertised. All right. So, but Mendoza did do something important too. He made it harder to keep all of his work with the second team or the second unit. When a rookie goes out in his first NFL game, handles the speed, handles the operation, and does not look overwhelmed, the next step is to raise the difficulty. So now it's time it's just like when you beat a level in a game. Well, the next level is going to get tougher. So he went out there and he did what was asked of him to do, and he did it freely, pretty damn good. So now it's time for them to raise the bar for him. Give him some first-team practice reps. Let him go out there against our top of defense, and let's see what he does. Let the pass rushes come in on him. Hang on 1 minute. I got to give my wife a quick update. Sorry. Sorry, my daughter's dog had to have surgery today, and we found out after my wife went out that the surgery went good and dog's good. She'll probably be home either late tomorrow or maybe Sunday morning. So thumbs up, thank God. It's my dog's sister. So we have the sisters from the litter. So they have the she's bigger. My dog's a little bit more wiry. She's fast too. My girl's fast. But okay, so anyway, where was I? Where the hell was I? Yeah. So let's see what happens when the window gets smaller. The pass rush is a little bit more aggressive and faster, because with a first team defense, the secondary is going to play a little bit different than what he played against last night, playing against the 2s and the 3s from Arizona. Even though Arizona did have their number 1s out there for a good amount of time that Mendoza was out there, and he still did pretty damn good. Let me just catch up with the chat here real quick because I know you guys are flying through this thing. Hey, Cody, what's up, Cody? I see you. Why not talk about the Broncos backup QB battle? I'm going through this, man. Give me a second. Sheesh. But yeah, it's not them. I'm not talking about them tonight. Rorschach, Jeff, what is your take on Mendoza and what did you see in your opinion? Well, that's kind of what I'm covering here too. And I already said what I said about him. So rewind and go back and look. And again, I think this is where the debate with Mendoza being the starter or Kirk Cousins, should Mendoza start week 1? I think the better question is, what does Mendoza have to show for the coaches to say, hey, over the next 2 preseason games, what does this kid have to show to make Kubiak seriously reconsider the original timeline? So is there going to be a QB battle going on now? So the coach, Kubiak, already came out and said that it's going to be a split of first-team reps between all 3 quarterbacks. So each get an equal share and see what they can do with the ones on offense versus the ones on defense. And they're working a plan, like I said, on how to do that so that everybody gets equal reps, but still not hurting Kirk Cousins by not letting him out there with the ones, because he is right now your slated starter for the season. That could change by the end of preseason game 3. So we'll have to wait and see as that goes. But here's the thing: it's the plan has been off season's been pretty clear from the start. Basically, Cousins starts, Mendoza develops. If the rookie earns the job later, that's when you make the move. One good preseason night should not blow up the whole plan that they have originally. But if he stacks another good performance and then another one on top of that out of these next 2 games, now they have a tough plan, a tough decision. They can't just ignore the fact that he's playing that well and just go, oh, we're still going to sit him. So Raider Nation, that's the question tonight. Did Mendoza simply have a good debut, or did he start a real quarterback competition? So that's my question to you guys. So when you guys do call in tonight, I want to hear the answer on that from the Raider fans that call in. But I also want other NFL fans to be able to call in too, so we can't be stealing a bunch of time. So let me just catch up here. Facts, Jeff, that was a wonderful thing. Yep. I haven't followed it, but what's the scoop on Max and Cousins? It's pretty much a done deal already. That's water under the bridge now. They seem fine. Yeah, like Bono said, they're smoking cigars together now. Because it looks like the field goal champ. Jeff is probably having chowder for that. I did. I had white clam chowder. I can read lips, guys. Don't worry. I'm sure you can. Chiefs backup QB's got some game time tomorrow. We'll get some games. Yeah, because Mahomes is not playing, which I am going to cover. Jeff asked if his Mendoza jersey. No, not wearing. I don't wear quarterback jerseys. All wide receivers, all running backs. Big guy wearing little guy shirts doesn't look good. You heard me. She's mimicking the same thing I just said. We all know that Jeff would never wear a jersey with a number smaller than 60 on it. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. No, probably in the 50s too, because there's some offensive linemen that wore 50s. So anything lower than a 50, no. Where are we here on this? Mendoza's developing QB, not the starter yet. Got it. It was a good debut. I will give him that. Definitely. I mean, the one that actually shocked me the most out of our entire team yesterday was Betch being as involved as he was. He looked pretty good out there. Not saying he's the next great thing at wide receiver for us, but he looked decent. I mean, he did what was asked of him. So we're going to go into, where is it? This is the Oh, here it is. Breaking news. Yeah, so we're going to go into breaking news here. And breaking NFL news and top stories. So the biggest news that actually broke this afternoon in the NFL world is Atlanta Falcons edge James Pearce suspended for 8 games. Okay, so now the biggest breaking story is edge rusher has been suspended for 8 games of the 2026 season, violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. He'll be eligible to return Week 9 when Atlanta plays Cincinnati in Madrid, Spain. The suspension follows his February arrest near Miami after a domestic dispute involving his ex-girlfriend. He faced 3 felony counts and a misdemeanor stalking account, and in April, he entered a 6-month pretrial intervention program with the possibility of the charges being dropped if he met the conditions. Okay? So, from the football side, this is a huge hit. Okay? He had 10.5 sacks as a rookie last year and was a finalist for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Atlanta's already without Jalen Walker, who tore his ACL first day of training camp, and he's done for the season. So now they lose this guy for the first 8 games of the season this year. So now you're talking about a Falcons defense losing 1 edge rusher for the year and another one for half the season. Okay, that changes how you look at that defense completely now. So it changes everything for them. And the timing is wild because Atlanta's playing Denver tonight. 2 is getting the stop for the Falcons, but Stefanski still is not named as Week 1 starter yet. So Michael Penix Jr. is still working back from his ACL and is not fully cleared for 11-on-11 work yet. So the Falcons took a serious hit. So not only do they lose Walker for the season on day 1 of the training camp to a torn ACL, now they lose this guy for half a season. That's huge. That's huge. That's why off-field issues, man, they have consequences, and it just doesn't affect you. It affects your team. It affects your fan base. You know, it affects your coaches. I mean, because now the coaches are scrambling to figure out what the hell do we do now? You know, we got 8 games when we're not going to have him. So now you have to figure some stuff out. So it's not good. We're not good. Yeah, his charges are serious, man. That's a lot. But not as bad as the next story we're going to cover in a few minutes here. Because it's not looking good. So let's just give a quick update on the scores of tonight's game that are going on right now. So with about 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, the Broncos are winning 24-7 over the Falcons. So Falcons look amazing, obviously. So it looks like the big hero for the Broncos right now for quarterback is Stidham. He's 9 of 15, 31 yards in the TD. Cortland Sutton has 3 catches for 60 yards. And the leading running back is Atlanta with T. Goodson with 7 carries, 28 yards. And Buccaneers and the Jets, 7 minutes, about just under 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Buccaneers are up 17-16. Daniels from Tampa Bay, quarterback, 6 completions out of 10 attempts, 84 yards. Allen, running back for the Jets, 4 carries, 44 yards in a TD. Buccaneers have the ball right now. It's 4th and 5th at the Jets, 37. And the other game that's going on, about just under 11 minutes to go, fourth quarter, Dolphins and the Commanders, or the Redskins. Redskins are up 17-7. It's pretty much been all Redskins all game long. Did A-Chain even play tonight? I want to see what he's got for stats because he's their biggest threat on that team for the Dolphins. Definitely A-Chain. A-Chain has 7 carries, 39 yards in a TD. Does he have any receiving yards? Did he catch any? No. He has no receptions. So their quarterbacks, Malik Willis, 4 for 5, 43 yards. Cam Miller, 3 for 9 and 39 yards. Quinn Ewers, 1 for 8, 27 yards, and an interception. Again, it's preseason. Let's see, anything. I'm looking at the other players on both teams. I don't see anything that stands out. Robert Henry, running back for the Redskins, 10 carries, 66 yards. Katron Allen, 16 carries, 54 yards, and a TD. Okay. Yeah, still nothing special. So that's it for the games that are going on right now. They're all in the fourth quarter, so they're almost done. Tua's not looking good either. Yeah, his stats aren't that great. I think Dixon Sider is waiting out his phone call. Bucks, a.k.a. fake Raiders, a.k.a. faders. Yep. Terrion Arnold. Yeah, I'm going to cover that. That's the next story. You'll Gino sitting out this week with hurt feelings. Yeah, he's a bum anyway. So let's see. Oh, hang on. Where did here it is. So Seahawks. I'm gonna bring this one up now. I was gonna wait on it, but we're gonna bring this one up right now. They're gonna add quarterback Terrion Arnold, okay, amid his pending case. All right, so this is a guy that just got let go, okay, from Detroit. So they're expected to add cornerback Terrion Arnold, again, the former first-round pick, who was released after 8 felony charges from the Lions. He's denied the involvement in the allegations, has pleaded not guilty. From the football side, Seattle's taking a chance on a 23-year-old corner with starting experience. So player-wise, it's okay. I get the move. But from the league side, they're taking this chance, and the obvious question about potential discipline depending on how the legal process develops. So if he ends up being found guilty, first of all, he's going to probably end up doing time. But even if he doesn't, the NFL's still going to do their investigation on their own to see if he probably violated any of the conduct rules. And that in itself could, send down a ruling from the league. So the Seahawks are taking a huge gamble here. They're investing money and time into a kid that may not even be able to be on the roster, may be suspended for a whole season, X amount of games, a lifetime. Who knows? There's so many different things that could go with this. This is definitely one of those stories where the football transaction is only half the story. It's the off-field thing that takes precedence. So Seattle can sign him, but that doesn't mean the uncertainty disappears. So it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out for Seattle if they make this work or not. So we're going to continue going on about news and top stories. So quarterback decisions around the league. So the big one that came out is Kyler Murray named the QB1 in Minnesota over J.J. McCarthy. So, again, the Vikings have officially named Kyler Murray their starting quarterback over J.J. McCarthy. So you're talking about a veteran that came in, signed a 1-year, $1.3 million contract with Minnesota after Arizona released him, while the Cardinals still owe him $35.5 million. O'Connell said Murray showed enough command of the offense, accuracy, and athletic ability to earn the job. This pushes McCarthy to number 2 QB. Remember, he was the 10th overall pick in the 2024 draft and only has 10 career starts. So he's been in the league going on his third season, okay? And he's only had 10 career starts. So, yes, he lost his whole rookie year because he, blew out his knee. Now he's going back to the bench while a veteran who arrived this offseason takes his job from him, okay? So Minnesota, McCarthy said he still wants to be in Minnesota. That's where he wants to be. Both quarterbacks are expected to both play tomorrow in Minnesota's game. They have to figure out what this means for McCarthy long term, his future here. Do they keep trying to drag him along, or do they? It's tough. You're talking about a guy that was drafted in the first round, and you had all these high hopes. Yes, he got injured his rookie year. I get it. But then in 3 years, his third season in, and he's only started a total of 10 games. That's not good for him, okay? Here's the question I want you Viking fans, if there's any in the chat. Are you happy because you found the quarterback who gives you the best chance to win right now? Or are you worried because your former top 10 quarterback is just not the same guy that you drafted? And it's apparently obvious that he's not the same guy that you drafted. He hasn't developed into the guy that you thought the guy you thought he would be when you drafted him. So again, if Murray plays this year well this year, then what? Does Minnesota sign him to a long-term contract? Do you pay him and keep him? Do you trade McCarthy? So they've got some decisions to make. Do you try to reset the competition again next offseason? Let them both fight it out for the number one spot. This still means you're going to offer Murray a contract, though. You can't just say, oh, yeah, we'll just see what happens. No, you're going to offer him a contract, so you're still going to have to pay him. You're still going to get, if he has a good season this year and really turns it around and he does well and Minnesota's winning, he's going to ask for a ton of money. He's not going to ask for no league veteran minimum. That's for damn sure. So this decision solves week one right now by naming Murray the starter. But it creates a whole new set of questions, especially for 2027. What do they do with McCarthy? Minnesota's got a mess on their hands, if you ask me. Moving on to the Browns, Deshaun Watson gets the start Saturday. Shedeur is going to get the next start. So next week, he'll get the start. So, and that's against Chicago this week, and Shedeur will start against the Buffalo Bills next week. Again, they've been alternating first-team reps. For Watson, this is a big deal for him. He hasn't had the best of career since he left Houston. And then he got suspended for a while. Cleveland goes and makes that huge, massive trade, and I don't get the trade they made. How somebody didn't lose their job immediately for that one just blows my mind. So next quarterback controversy: Falcons. Tua. Tua starts. And right now, they're listing him as a starter for week one, and the job is still open. Penix is still dealing with his injury, his rehab for his injury. The Falcons are planning to keep Tua's work short tonight, so I don't know how much he played total overall. So the first series, so maybe like 10 plays he probably got, depending on how well the drive went. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens there. Let me see what's going on. There have been several Michigan QBs that were bust. It seems like it. Yeah, armed robbery, yes, and a few other things too. I think there was a kidnapping involved in that too. So, yeah, he's kind of screwed. If he gets, maybe he got a Seattle judge, and we know how they are. The McCarthy Baker was not only a reach, but also bad on Minnesota pot, but the coach is safe. Yeah, I don't get that one. How, whatever. McCarthy was ass, and he still will be. He's not good. So, I mean, hey, So we're gonna move on to injuries here. I'm trying to get this all done before the top of the hour, so I can open up the phone line, guys, for you. Injuries: 49ers, as we all know, Ricky Pearsall announced. I think I covered this last week, where he's out for the entire season. So he had surgery on his PCL, and it's about a 9-month recovery. So he's done for the year. So, which is part of the reason why they brought Deebo Samuel back last week. They had to do something, so they brought him back in, and now he's back on the roster with them. And again, like I said earlier, with the receiver that played yesterday, and he had a decent game. So that they needed that. So because their wide receiver room is complete trash. We thought Oz was bad. This isn't much better. Going on to Puka Nacua, expected to be back next week. Myles Garrett, and Myles Garrett showed up on the injury report this week, folks. So they got a couple of names to watch here. News sounds more precautionary with Puka Nacua. He's got soreness in the groin area after leaving Tuesday's joint practice early. Sean McVay says he expects Tua back at practice next week. Myles Garrett's been dealing with knee soreness or knee swelling too. Earlier in the week, Garrett told McVay he felt about 85%. The Rams have been keeping him off to the side and being careful, which makes sense. I mean, first of all, how much do you really need him out there to practice? Myles Garrett is Myles Garrett. Do I need to say any more? They want to be careful with him, and I don't blame him. You just traded a first-round pick away for him, and one of your top prospects that you drafted last year, who showed extreme promise last season. You know, you're not just going to like, oh, no, you're going to go out there and practice no matter how you feel. No, you're going to take care of this guy because you want him to be what you expect them to be during the season if you have any aspirations of winning the Super Bowl. And they are the odds-on favorite. They're up there. They want to make sure that he's at his peak by the time week 1 rolls around. So I wouldn't expect to see Myles Garrett play in any of the Rams games. Let's see, the Saints, Cam Jordan, hamstring, could last until the regular season. So they could be without him for the start of the regular season. He injured his hamstring, and Kellen Moore said it could possibly extend beyond the preseason. The Saints are reevaluating him every few days, so there is no firm return date for him. But when the head coach is already acknowledging that week 1 could be affected, it belongs on the radar. So, again, this is more of a fantasy situation. But also, I mean, we do have to play the Saints. And anybody in here that's, NFC South fan, you're going to play them too. So remember that. Let's see. 41 is leading the league in injuries already. I'll tell you what, the NFC South took a wallop already. I mean, they've lost a lot of guys in the NFC South too. You think the Rams would rescind their trade because of me? No, they're not the Ravens. They don't care. On to the Buccaneers. Vita Vea situation is still ongoing. Has nothing changed yet. They're considering him a hold-in because he is still showing up. He is still participating. He is still requesting a trade. The extension talks did not get anywhere since this all started. So he's entering the final year of his contract, and he's scheduled to make $18 million. The problem is obvious for Tampa. You're talking about one of the best interior defensive linemen in football, a player who changes how teams run the ball against you. And after last night's performance, I think the Raiders need to actually come up with another trade offer for him, if you ask me. I mean, again, for everybody who wants their team to call Tampa, remember the second part of the trade, you are not just giving up draft capital, you're probably giving Vita Vea a new contract too. So you better make sure that you can support that contract. And don't forget, you're probably trading picks or players, so it could be an issue. But I definitely think the Raiders should seriously look into it, because I'm sorry. 805, if you're watching, I'm sorry, brother, but Butler didn't look too hot last night. Unfortunately, not his wide receivers. John Stribbling. Yeah, that's the guy I mentioned earlier. He had a pretty good game. So if I was a betting man, I'd put money on J.J. McCarthy starting at some point this season. It's possible. I mean, Kyler Murray's not the healthiest of most. The 9-hit QB, number 14, looked pretty sharp too. Yeah, I don't know who that is. What's up, Sacktown Mike? I see you, man. What's going on? Looks like the Bucs dumping their expensive vets at this time. It's not so much that. It's the fact that he wants out because his contract, he has no guaranteed money this year, and that's pretty much what it is. He's out of guarantees. So which means if, I'm just going to say the Raiders, for instance, because that is one of the teams he would like to go to. So it's any West Coast teams. So any of the California teams he definitely wants to go to, and also the Raiders. So any one of those 4 teams are going to be looking to extend his contract, obviously, or offer him a new contract. They're going to have to also there's going to be guarantees in there too. So it's not just a simple, oh yeah, we'll trade for it. It's the contract that comes with it. And can we afford it this season? What type of situation does that put us in for this year's cap? Because we've got some decisions to make after this season's over, or in the middle of the season, if you want to get these contracts settled before next year starts. Remember, this guy runs on Duncan. And I got a fresh one in the fridge still, too. Next up, Jerry Jones, still making news in the NFL. Well, he's always making news because he never keeps his mouth shut. He says he's very happy with how Micah Parsons' trade has worked out a year later. Dallas traded Parsons to Green Bay for Kenny Clark first round picks in 2026 and 2027. The Cowboys then used the 27 first rounder plus their own second rounder in the trade that brought Quinnen Williams from the Jets. The 2026 first round pick became Malachi Lawrence at number 23 in the draft this year. As of this week, Dallas gave Quinnen Williams a 3-year, $105 million extension. So Jerry's argument is that moving Parsons gave Dallas both the capital and flexibility to completely remake the middle of their defense. And I will say their defense did get better after Parsons was gone, which was weird because they couldn't stop the run, when Parsons was here. And it seems like they got better against the run because they brought in guys that could stuff up that interior. So that was, I'm not going to argue. I think that was a pretty damn good trade for them, to be honest with you. Now, whether that proves to be any better than simply keeping Micah Parsons is going to be decided on Sundays, not in August. Remember that. So what happens now, whatever. It's the draft pick, what they brought in this year, how much he contributes to this team, and what it does for them this year. But again, I mean, this is a really good roster building debate. Would you rather have the one elite edge rusher like Micah Parsons or turn him into multiple high-end pieces and picks? And that's what they did. And again, their defense, their ranking in the run defense went up. Like they got so much better as the season went on after that trade. So in the immediate, in the now when it happened, yeah, they got better. They couldn't get to the quarterback as easily, but they stopped the run because that's what was absolutely killing him last year. So we'll have to wait and see. And he's still dropping hints about the whole Max thing too. So there's some chatter out there about that crap too. Let's see. There could be a loss of faith in Baker in the front office with his roller coaster last season. Baker Mayfield. I still would take Baker Mayfield. He's a good quarterback. It has never taken much to start QB controversies at first go, right? You're not lying. Definitely not. All right. So let's just check in here, see if any of these games have been completed yet. We're down to the final minutes of these games, it looks like. Let's see. So Tampa Bay's going up more now. Tampa Bay, 2 minutes left in the fourth. They're up 24-16. 3 minutes left in the fourth between Washington and Miami. They're still winning 20-7. And 4 minutes in the game between Denver and Atlanta. Denver's still winning 27-7. These games are pretty much over. So that's the end of those games, pretty much. Cool Kev, what's up, man? I see you, brother. What's going on, Cool Kev? Nobody was going to trade a crazy haul for Mac Jones this offseason. No. So, all right. So what I'm going to do right now real quick is we're going to pull up the games that are this weekend. Let me get that off the screen. Nope, that's not the right one. That was... Okay. So here is tonight's games that have already been completed. Tomorrow's games, we've got Panthers at the Bills, Rams at the Chiefs, Vikings at Giants, Browns at the Bears, Eagles at the Ravens, Cowboys at the Seahawks, and Jaguars at the Saints. So those are all your games tomorrow, Saturday. They're scattered throughout the day tomorrow. Again, it's the biggest slate of the weekend. So the game I really want to see is Carolina at Buffalo because Josh Allen is healthy. The Bills starters are expected to play, and it will be the first game ever played at the new Highmark Stadium. I know a lot of fans are not happy with that stadium. I still want to see a little bit more of it because they're going to highlight it on the coverage. That's for sure because it's the newest stadium in the league now, so the NFL is going to want to hype it up to draw interest into that stadium. I don't know if anybody else saw it. I don't have them. I should have had them for tonight. But they have some serious obstructions from in your seats. So some seats have pretty massive obstructions. There's one that I saw where from your seat, you can only see from about the 40-yard line on the opposite side of the field to the end zone in front of you, or maybe the 30-yard line. So you're missing almost a third to a quarter of the field from that seat. There's another one where there's another obstruction where from about the 10-yard line to the back of the end zone, you can't see anything. So you got to sit there leaning out to look and see what's going on. So that's absolutely ridiculous. And you spend $2 billion on a brand new stadium and you have obstructed views. That's asinine. So I get that. Yeah, exactly, Roy. It's absolutely ridiculous for the amount of money that you're spending to build this stadium. And on top of that, you don't even make it a dome so you can, because they'll never get a Super Bowl. So you don't even get it so you can get a dome, get a Super Bowl. That's the other thing. That's a big money maker. These teams that build domes now are smart because now they get their stadium put on the list for potential Super Bowls. And potential Super Bowls, that's just another way for you to make money for your team, to be awarded that. And for your location, like your city, your town, wherever your stadium's located, that's a huge influx of tourists coming in. Right, Ben's in the house. What's up, brother? I see you in here, man. Welcome in. Yeah, whoever designed that stadium in Buffalo, the Bills Mafia should take them out and put them through the tables every Sunday when they play there, because that is just absolutely ridiculous. Obstructed views in today's technology and architectural design is absolutely ridiculous. I could understand that when you go. Fenway Park's a perfect example. It's an old stadium. Okay, so yeah, you're going to have beams in front of you in certain spots, but you can still see pretty much everything, But when you're sitting in one of those seats that I saw in Buffalo, and you're missing an entire section of the field, like from the 30-yard line to the end zone on the opposite end from you, that's insane. That's absolutely ludicrous how that can even happen. That is I'm sorry, that is one of the most ridiculous things that I've ever seen in today's day and age. It just doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Willie Wayne, what's up, my guy? I see you, man. Yeah, obstructive views, man. If I was a Bills fan, and I would be livid if all of a sudden you realize those are your seats that you're getting for the game. It's like, oh, hell no. I mean, that's where if Allegiant had obstructed views, that's where the opposing fans should go and sit. You go sit there. Yeah, it does. It looks like a Pringle. It was a stairways design. They knew that would happen. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. I know they got this extended roof too, but here's the other thing too. Okay, so yes, if you're sitting in club seats, yes, you're paying for the most expensive seats, basically. Because you got access to your private bathroom, food, the whole 9 yards. But think about what's the next most expensive seats after that. Down in the lower section, in the lower bowl, where you're closer to the field. Bad weather, there's a roof over it, but if you're in those first two sections, you're still getting shit on. You're still getting rain on you. You're getting snow on you. You're not protected for nothing, So you're paying all this extra money. It's the people that are going to be paying less money, sitting further up, to have a beautiful view of everything. They're going to be warm and cozy and dry the whole time. The one thing I do like about the way that they built their concourse, no matter pretty much where you stand, if you go up to a concession, you can just turn around and look right back out to the field, and you can see the field just fine. So that's one thing I did see that was actually pretty cool. So, like some of the older stadiums, you'd walk down that kind of like half tunnel to the concession. Once you're in there, forget it. You can't see or hear anything that's going on. I mean, you can hear, but you can't see the field. All you can do is look out the tunnel. You just see the seats directly across from you. But this one here is such an open air in there that you could be standing anywhere at a concession and just turn around and look back. The scoreboard, their video board in Buffalo, it's tiny. It is not big. It is small. It does. It looks like one of those old truck stops. I can't care less about the Bills Stadium. That's common for them with what they did to their coach, the ghost of all 4 Super Bowl losses, and coming to collect. Oh, you're harsh, Rorschach. I care because if the Raiders come to town, I want to go there, but I don't want shitty seats either. You're going to be tough up in that. Yeah, it is. Trust me, Buffalo snow is no joke. All right, so other games this weekend that are going to be interesting too is Cleveland at Chicago, because Deshaun Watson gets to start. We get another look at Caleb Williams and the Bears offense. Minnesota and the Giants gives us the first game after Kyler Murray officially won the Vikings job. Murray and McCarthy are both expected to play. Rams and Chiefs is always worth watching, but Mahomes will not be playing in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if Mahomes doesn't play in preseason at all, to be honest with you. And definitely right now what's going on in Kansas City, they have a right tackle competition worth following. So that's something to keep an eye on too, especially for us as Raider fans. I want to see Kansas City's offense. I want to see what they've got. I want to see how well they're put together for this coming season, because we're going to play them twice. So if you're not watching KC games to get a better feel, so you know what you're talking about, when you're looking at games coming up, when we have to play them that week, you want to know what you're talking about. You want to see if they've got their defense back together or if they're hurting. You know, I know Kelsey looks a little out of shape, so we'll have to see what happens with him. What's up, D Menace? I see you in here, brother. Thank you for coming in. Eagles and Ravens gives us two teams with serious expectation, and Dallas at Seattle brings Terrion Arnold's story and the Cowboys' rebuilt defense into the weekend. So I'm curious to see. I can't wait to see how this all plays out with Terrion Arnold, to be honest with you. That's one of the biggest stories that's happened in this offseason outside of the Myles Garrett trade. I mean, the fact that he's even allowed to even still play right now, but you're innocent until proven guilty. So there's that. So by the time we go live next Friday, we'll have a lot more to, actual tape and things that are going on and see who's actually stepped up, who took a fall back after all these games are completed now. Like, again, tomorrow we got a full slate of games tomorrow. So, and again, training camps are pretty much over now. So we're into the preseason phase of the NFL 2026 season. So now it's practice at home. Next week, the Raiders, we go to Houston. We've got the live practice with the Houston Texans, and then we play Houston. And here's one thing I just want to bring up about last night's game before I open the phone lines. Well, I think the big misunderstanding or the big thing that's being missed in all this is Arizona already played a game. They played last Thursday. So a lot of those guys already got into game time situations, especially some of their rookies. So in some of their veterans, they knocked that rust off last week playing in an NFL game. Okay. So they were out there being hit for real, tackling for real, doing their job, what they're supposed to do. This was our first preseason game with a lot of rookies, a lot of new players on this team. So last night was our first chance to really knock heads and, because you don't want to hurt your own guys in practice. So this was a chance for us to go out and lay the smack on people on the Arizona team. But don't forget, they've already got a game under their belt. We came in, this was our first game. So, yeah, we looked a little rusty. We looked a little off. So now fast forward to next week. We play against the Houston Texans. Well, the Texans already played their game, okay? We played our game now. So now we're both coming in at the same even keel. We both have one game under our belt. All right. So now let's see what happens going into next week when we finally get on the field and play in an actual game, not the scrimmage, not the live practice and crap, but the actual game itself Thursday night. You should see a better product on the field from both teams because now that they've both played a real game and then bang, now it's game time because we get the Houston Texans on Thursday next week. And then the last game is back in Las Vegas against the 49ers. So Houston this week, then the 49ers is the last game. Yeah, so we get the scrimmage with the Texans. So, I expect what we see on the field next week. Now that we've got each team now has actual game footage to study for their respective team. And they can also look at game film footage of the team that they have to play against. Now, we did have that. We did have Arizona's game footage from the week before that we could go through. But you didn't have anything on your side other than practice footage. So now you've got game time footage where you can see who made mistakes. You can see what needs to be worked on. You can see what needs to be improved going into next week. You can see who did what, who shined, who missed their assignments, who really messed up. So you've got a few days now to get this shit fixed before next Thursday night. I expect to see a better product on the field from the Raiders and probably from Houston too. Every team's going to start to get better as the rest of this preseason goes on, and you hope everybody's got it right by week one. That's the difference. So I'm not hyped up on, is it bad for everybody? Is everybody on our team just awful? No, you got to give it time. So phone lines are now open. So if you want to call in, the number's right here at the top of the screen, 401-830-9189. Call in. Let me hear your takes. Try and keep it to about 2 minutes or so if you can, so we can try and get more people in as we go along here. But I do want to hear from you guys for sure. D-Man says, I need to see some improvement from the defense game too. Absolutely. Eichenberg and many of the young depth linebackers got to do much better. Yeah, because after Nakobe Dean and Walker, I'm scared. I will say, though, Sloan, I thought he looked pretty damn good out there, that kid. I thought he had a decent night. He had some good plays. I like what I saw from him. He's definitely got potential. Greedy Vance was all over the place. He was out there being greedy. So, yeah, I don't know about that. Going back to our game, I think one of the other disappointing things, and I think I saw this coming too. Matazawa, he's too much of a project. We Eichenberg had some good plays. We can't mess around with a kicker like that. He's too much of a project. I mean, think about it. He's 2 years. He's got 2 years if we keep him on the international player program. All right. So in 2 years, is he going to be better to the point where he can go out and start for us and actually kick in game? I wish. Did anybody watch the game? Did you see the kickoff that he did in the second half? Oh, dear Lord. He squib kicked it. It's like, all right, this is what? I don't know if it's nerves or whatever, just first time in a game situation like that for him, but come on, man. Really? That was horrible. And then he doinks one off and it bounced. Oh, my God, that was just so bad. I mean, I feel for the kid, but think about it. This is his first real football experience. And yes, he did play in college and everything. He's a self-taught kicker. How often do those work? You know, there was too much hype coming out of college for him. Yeah, it definitely was nerves. Tokyo Togo and Osaki left. And it's either that or he had too much sake before the game started. He saw 2 footballs up there when he ran up the kick, and he kicked the one on the left, and it wasn't the full football. Who got suspended? That was, oh my God, I already forgot the guy's name. From Atlanta, James Pearce. First 8 games of 2026 season, he got booted for. No one from our team. What's up next, Effect? Fortunately, it's preseason. We got Gay for a reason. He's just an IPP spot always. So thank you, brother. I appreciate you being in here. Yeah, I seriously think the Raiders need to start thinking about bringing in some kickers to I mean, Gay is what he is. No diddy. But yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff going on. Well, they found him. I just had it here. Where is it? It was the personal conduct. Did they say? No, I don't think I said what it was because they didn't bring it up. Well, he entered a 6-month pretrial intervention program with the possibility of the charges being dropped if he met the conditions. So he is still going through that 6-month pretrial intervention program. But the NFL came out and they ruled in the case itself, and that's why they suspended him for the first 8 games. So, and I did discuss this, that not only do they lose him for the first 8 games, but they also without Jalen Walker for the entire season because the first day of training camp, he tore his ACL. So now you're out 2 your main defensive guys that you were counting on, and now, you know, and what I said is, you know, these off-field issues not only hurt you yourself on a personal level, but it hurts your team, hurts your fans, because that also hurts the team overall. The coaches are put in a tough spot because now they have to find someone to take up that productivity that both of these guys had. You know, so that's a. Can you imagine if we lose Max and let's say Nakobe Dean, both of them, or Walker, one or the other, for conduct that they, you know, one tears their ACL and the other one gets booted for 8 or 9 games because of conduct. Our defense already is looking seriously questionable after last night. So how much worse do you think it's going to be with both of them out? You know, so now we're scampering to try and make sure that we have somebody that's going to be able to play just as well or extremely as close as you possibly can to their playability, their level. You know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Let's see, Porter going back to receiving where he belongs. I didn't look at last night. Gay old leg doesn't have the long game velocity anymore. Yeah, that is rough, man. It sucks. Next effect with the new member. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you for being a member. Thank you very much, man, with the new membership for the 401 Raider Brigade. Thank you, sir. Didn't we have that with AB when he left? Pretty much. And all that guy was a head case, too. I'm not giving us a jinx. I'm just trying to put it into context as far as, from our standpoint, from the Raiders, what would be the best, what's the best option, Support the captain. Thanks. How'd you know? I was a captain at one point. Not in football, though. But yeah, so phone lines are open, folks. Bueno, kick your fridge. Make it phone. Make it call. Jeff, look at my laces out comment. You're just as bad as Jack Kenna. Go look at what I put. I'm kidding. GD always called you Cap, so I assumed, yeah, he does. Or he calls me Skipper. I think he calls me Skipper, at least when he had the laces out. Why didn't we sign Ray Finkel? He's too old now. Draft Cam Coleman. And I think Jason calls me Skipper because Robert Pena, rest in peace. I miss him so much from being in our chats. He would always pop in to any of my shows, and he would always, or if he would see me in a chat in another show and him and I are in the chat, he would always call me Skipper. So I miss that in the chats. I miss him call me Skipper because he would send me a text or an IG post or something, and he was always start off with, "Hey, Skipper," So Jason's kind of taken on that, calling me that too now, and I appreciate that. Robert Pena, man, what a shame! Still, can't believe. And it was just such a freak thing too, I mean, we've lost some good ones in the last few years, Peterson, Robert. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you're at.
Jeff, it's Money Chuck. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Money Chuck? What's going on? I can barely hear you.
Oh, hold on. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's a little bit better. I turned my volume up too.
Hey, I'll try to keep this to 2 minutes, and it's a touchy subject, but I wanted to hit on something. So, the other night we were talking about the Commanders or Redskins, and I want to let you know something. So, how do I want to phrase this? So, your San Diego guy said who was complaining about it. The National Council of American Indians, the governing body, for 30 years they protested that. They went to 2 court cases. And then it was mentioned that the Native Americans voted to have the name restored and image restored. What it was a group of people, saying that wanted to preserve Native American history in sports. Mm-hmm. They had an online petition, and 150,000 people signed it. That's a pretty broad demographic. They really didn't narrow it down to Native Americans. And I'll tell you something. If I met a Native American person, I start calling them a Redskin, I don't think it would fly very well, Jeff. And another thing, you mentioned Aunt Jemima, and you said she was a real person. Mm-hmm. She wasn't a real person. That was a minstrel character, vaudeville, blackface. That was a character from that. And the reason why they called her Aunt Jemima is because during that era, during Jim Crow, it was a way for people to avoid calling them Mr. or Mrs. They wouldn't call black people Mr. or Mrs. They called them aunt or uncle. So I just wanted to set that clear. And one other thing, Sacktown Mike mentioned, what I'm saying, because this Native American chief, okayed this, that it makes it right. there's a whole group of people, that governing council that I told you about, that protested it. You had one Native American chief, pretty much, that said it was okay, sold the image, to the Redskins, and that's pretty much like a black person in the South supporting the Confederate battle flag, while there'd be a big group of people who don't support it.
Okay.
So I'll leave it at that. It's a touchy subject, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. Have a good night, my friend.
All right. Thanks, man. And that was history with Money Chalk. Political talk with Money Chalk. Here we go. Let's see. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you rep.
Hey, it's Staff Calvary, Mike here.
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you? I thought I'd call in and talk about. I'd actually talk about football.
Okay. You don't want to talk about Confederate flag or anything like that, or
No. I want to keep it away from political stuff and racial stuff and all that kind of stuff. I thought I'd talk about football. I thought I'd talk about the game that happened yesterday.
Okay, go for it, brother.
Hey, man. I don't think. Okay, first I'm gonna say we got to cut down the penalties, and I know we had a couple bad calls.
Yeah.
And we had one that didn't get called against them that they should have gotten. Well, that was actually not just a DPI; that was a felony. We got to cut down these penalties. The tripping calls, the holding calls, and all that stuff. We got to cut down on that.
Oh, knocking the ball out of the guy's hand.
Yeah. Or what was that one play? At first, I saw Eichenberg make this tackle, and they threw the flag, and I'm like, what the hell was wrong with that? It was fine. And then they showed the replay, and he actually punched the dude.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell was that?
And that was one of my things that I was talking about during, when I was live during the game. I'm like, first half, 7 penalties. Luckily, in the second half, we only had one more penalty. But still, 7 penalties from what you consider to be your starters and your next guys in, first and second stringers.
Yeah.
Complete. 8 penalties, 75 yards. It's a drive killer. Okay. You gave up 75 yards in penalties. That's insane. Absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, we're not good enough to overcome those penalties on offense.
No,
a lot of teams. I mean, and the other thing that I was really upset about was get the F off. We didn't get off the field on the third down once in the first half, not until the fourth quarter. Did we actually get a third down stop? That's insane. I mean, there was third and 11s, third and 8s, third and 9s, all this stuff. Come on, man. The 15 for 15 completions by 2 backup quarterbacks. I mean, but I understand our defensive backs are young, and they're so close. They're just like one half step behind, and they're not as big as the ones we had before. So it's going to take some time. So I'm not really going to blame it on them. But I think we did have some bright spots too, and I definitely think Quay Walker was one of them.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, he had a couple of run stuffs on Love. Those are nice. I'll tell you who else too was Terrion Johnson. He put together a heck of a game, and especially that low tackle he had on Jeremiah Love with him.
Yes.
With him stopping him at the line and just holding him enough for the cavalry to come in and lay him out.
Oh man!
If he
latched onto that leg,
that was 6 all day long. He would have juked and jived his way all the way down for a touchdown. He would have beaten.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think our first string defense. I don't think Jeremiah Love got more than 3 yards on the carry, but from our first string defense, he didn't start opening it up until our second and third strings went in.
Yeah. Which
surprises me because I am, I'm a Notre Dame fan, that. And I'm like going, oh, God, I don't even want to see their Jeremiah in the game. And I would like play after play, 1 yard, 3 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard, by our first string. So I thought that was good. Matsuzawa. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name anymore because that was
Matsuzawa.
Truly, as Howard Cosell would say,
he's a project.
Truly pathetic performance.
We're not in a position with this team and this roster to have a project in the kicking game. I mean, that kickoff was absolutely disgusting. I mean, I think 805 could have kicked it. I mean,
I could have kicked it better than that. I mean,
Jesus, Rada
Love kicked it and it went out of bounds.
Yeah, Rada Love kicked better when she did when they were filming her kicking for the field goal. Good Lord.
I would have loved to have seen that. I love Raquel.
Oh, she's awesome. That was.
And then that 38-yard field goal that he missed by a couple feet. I mean, that was really 38 yards.
I mean,
he had some nerves going on.
If he was the only kicker we had on the roster, I'd be like, get Carl. I'd rather suffer through another season of Carlson being hit or miss than have to watch that, especially on kickoffs.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was horrible. I've never seen, other than deliberately trying to do that. That was insane. That kickoff. That was nuts.
Yeah, it wasn't even close to the 20. It was like, what did it hit around the 28 or something?
Yeah.
And then rolled out of bounds.
Good kick. I mean, that ball was all over the place. It was just it wasn't even like a clean kick that just went hooked right out of bounds. I mean, that thing
it was pathetic.
Oh yeah, it was horrible. Remember, this guy runs on Duncan, trying to get a sponsorship.
Yeah, I can't see when I'm on the phone, but I figure you're taking a sip out of your Dunkin' Donuts. But But I mean, like you said before, Cardinals, that was their second game. That was our first. So, I mean, we can use that for an excuse, a legitimate excuse.
Yeah.
But,
what's up, Raider?
And then we're going up against Houston next week, which is, we each only have one game, but Houston's a way better team than the Cardinals.
Well, I don't know how long you've been listening. What I had said was, the one thing I think people are overlooking, or fans are overlooking, and some of the content creators too, is, I don't want to keep repeating myself here, but I want to say it. This wasn't Arizona's first game. They already played a game a week ago.
Right.
So they've already got
had the whole same game.
Exactly. They already got that game under their belt where they were out there hitting in, NFL speed and, smacking bodies around. And they knocked off that first game rust and jitters. So now, and Jeremiah Love didn't even play last week. Okay. Now you come into this week against a team that hasn't even played a game. They've been, playing grab ass in practice, basically not really hitting because you don't want to hurt your own guys. So you've got
not taking guys down to the ground.
Exactly. Yeah. Not tackling fully and not sacking the quarterback and actually physically hitting the quarterback. So now it comes next week. Houston and us will both have a game under our belt. We've both been in game time situations. We both had our good and our bad. And now you've got also, don't forget, Arizona comes into this game with a whole week's worth of film to study on their own deficiencies. Now we have the film for us. So now we can see where we need to make those adjustments. And so can Houston. So keep in mind, we're going to be kind of on a more even playing field with Houston next week. Yeah. But Houston's defense is a lot better than what we faced last night. If they have all their guys in, and now we see what happens. What really sucks for us is we've got a guy that we picked in the second round after we traded with Houston, and they took the guy the majority of us wanted that I wish we still had. Now, if he comes out and he just lays the smackdown on us, I'm going to be even more pissed because he's out there doing it, and our guy is right now relegated to the second team and maybe starter, maybe not. When you got a guy that comes in like McDonald, I wish we had McDonald. And after what I saw last night with Butler and everything, we could use him. We could definitely use him, and which is why I'm heavy back on the Vita Vea thing too at this point, because I think he would add another dimension to that front line, and it would be a welcome presence on that front line too.
I agree 100%.
So I think you're going to see a better product on the field overall from us. Because they know what they can make the adjustments on now. It's on film. We can see Houston's game film. Yes, we had Arizona's game film. We could study what they were doing, but we didn't have our own film to study where we were bad. So I know it's an excuse, but really it is and it isn't, but still. It's going to be curious.
I agree, because I never really expected, because I was always calling for maybe this season's going to be maybe a 5-game win season, maybe 6, 7 if we were lucky. But because we've got a whole new coaching staff. What's not new is moved up, like Robbie Leonard's and stuff.
Yeah.
And then a very, very young team. So I wasn't expecting a lot. And next week's game against Houston, that's with the 3-game preseason nowadays. Second game is when you play your starters maybe at least a full quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get a better look at our starters. I think I know JPJ, he played the whole first half.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked that he was out there as long as he was.
I was too.
Savage.
Like, what's he still doing out there?
Yeah. What's
still
up,
diving
man?
after the whistle. And okay, I'll let you go, man, because I know there's probably other people that want to call.
I appreciate it, Mike. I heard you're on another show tonight.
Yeah, at 8:30 Pacific time. I got another show, Fight or Flight, the debate show.
All right, I'll have to check.
It's business decisions. It's business decisions.
Yeah, I watched it last week. I'll see what's going on.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Well, yeah, I know. I saw you in there. Yeah. I'm not sure if Jason's going to be on tonight. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be on tonight. I think I am, but Nabman might be on tonight too.
Oh, yeah, I think Navman's in it tonight. I think you're right.
Yeah. That was pretty fun. That was the first time I've ever been on a panel with Severe, so that was pretty cool. I respect him.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him, though. Him and I had our differences last year with the whole PCAL thing, but I finally conceded to him. I said, yeah, you were right.
Well, you both have strong wills, like most Raider fans. You got to have a strong will to be a Raider fan.
Yeah. All right, Mike.
All right, Jeff, I'm going to let you go. You tell Dawn I said hello if she remembers who I am. And I'll watch the show until I have to go in the studio for the next show.
I'm only on for about 30 minutes, if that. So.
Okay, that's about when. Okay, I'll be watching the rest of your show, but I'll be in the chat still.
All right, brother. Thank you for calling in, Mike. I appreciate it. I love talking to you.
Hey, man, thanks for accepting my call, man. I appreciate it. I love talking to you. Dude.
At least you're not Jack Kenner, the closet Chiefs fan, like you were doing last week. That was fucking hilarious.
Did you see where I said he wants his hat back, his Chiefs hat back?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Oh no, I was laughing my ass off. I saw that going on. It was pretty funny.
All right, man. You take care, man.
No, you too, brother. Thank you.
All right, good night.
Good night, man. All right, everybody. That was Sacktown Mike on the phone. Who do we have here? Randy and Randy. Dude, I got a show that I'm going to be doing every 2 weeks, so every other Monday. You should go back and watch this past Monday night. It's called AFC West Fools. It's myself, a Broncos fan, and a Chargers fan, and an empty seat for the Chiefs fan until we find one. But you might find it pretty funny. So, but yeah, hey, you and the Chargers, man. Preseason champs. Woo! Whatever. I'm worried if we don't get Vita Vea, the Chargers will if he decides to leave. Depends on what they offer for him. Excuses are like assholes and Christians. Wilkins is grabbing them. Almost pulled a Kenner. I know, right? This for some reason in this offseason just seemed to drag. What's up, Ricky Bears? What's going on? Well, Tanner Jack, this is an NFL-based show, so yeah, Broncos are fine in here tonight. Any team, anybody that's a fan of any of the 32 teams in the league, that's what this show is all about. We cover all NFL news. We covered the games from last night, gave the updates on the scores from tonight's game. And next week I'll have Saturday's games to report on, plus whatever happens Thursday night on the show. So I've only got a couple more shows left before I head out for video. Let's got here. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you're at.
Hey, Jeff. This is Next Effect.
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Not much. I caught kind of catching the last half of your show. I know I posted a few comments in the chat when I specifically talked about wide receivers. I wanted to get your opinion on how some of the wide receivers did last night, and because my mindset is, to reiterate my comment, I do not want us to go after another one of these diva wide receivers. I've seen kind of how the team has been with Randy Moss, Antonio Brown. I'll even throw in Devontae Adams in there, and it just kind of hurt us in general. So
I agree.
I'm on the mindset that I want these young guys to step up and develop better, because I want to see more team first wide receivers. So with the guys that we played last night, anyone right now pop out for you? You know, obviously Besh did amazing.
Yes,
I think Besh is going to be something special. Benson so far, I think, you know, training camp is showing the preseason. Obviously it's one game.
Yeah.
We still have a lot more film to watch. And, you know, those two undrafted free agent guys, EJ Williams and Chase Roberts, those guys, they could be, you know, last second additions to the team, because I don't see us keeping Dorsett. And I hate this. I hate saying this because I had so high expectations for him. I don't think we're going to keep Thornton. So I kind of wanted. Yeah, and apparently he's bummed right now. He's hurt. That's why he wasn't playing. That was from the press conference today. But he's not looking like the training he did is translating to production. So I wanted to get, you know, what you think about the wide receiver situation. Do we need to go get someone like Hopkins or an Ayuk, which I would rather not. I would rather our young guys develop. So
I agree. I'm at this point now, this stage of the game where we let the young guys fill it out, basically. Ayuk, there's some issues going on with that too, because something to the effect where he would have to be reinstated. It's the way he handled the way he left the 49ers or something. I read something into it. I haven't gone back on it. Hopkins, here's the thing. I mean, we're talking about possibly looking at guys that are past their prime. You know, guys that aren't going to come in and be able to stretch the field. You know, they're not going to be able to faster than what's on our team already. If anything, all they're going to bring in is that veteran presence. But what good is the veteran presence if you can't burn somebody? We need somebody with some speed to open up the top. And I just don't I don't have faith in any of those guys out there right now. It's slim pickings. But as far as who played last night and who I thought did well, Malik Benson looked good while he was out there. Betch came out of nowhere last night. Was not expecting that type of a game from him last night. So I have faith in him this year. I mean, he's actually improved versus last year, to be honest with you. I think he looks better than he did last year. So I think this coach is definitely working their magic with him.
He did look a lot better, and one of the things that I want to point out is who do we pick up midway through the season last year that ruined a lot of these guys' developmental time?
Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett.
That was a waste.
Well, like I would have had more. You know, if we knew the season was a wash, get these younger guys out there. I think that was one of our biggest complaints with Pete Carroll last year. So, you know, I'm on the mindset, let's give these guys more playing time. Let's see if they show. Like, this is year 2 with a lot of our young receivers, like Besh and Thornton. You know, I want to give them the fair chance. And then next year, if these guys just don't pan out, and let's say we have another top 10 pick, I say we make a trade up, grab either a Cam Coleman or Jeremiah Smith, and then get us that true number 1. But with me, I think if we can pull this off, if we can pull off the season, I think we can fight for a wild card spot. That's if everything goes right, but that's kind of crazy, I know.
Yeah, to hit you on the Thornton thing, it's been relegated to the point that he's trying to make his bones now with us on special teams. That's not boding well for him. So not only is he not even going to be looked at right now as in the receiving rotation because he's trying to make the team on special teams. Then he gets hurt, so he misses the game last night. That's another strike against him. It just seems like he's not grasping it. So I think he's definitely on the bubble. He's not going on the practice squad. He's going to be cut outright if he doesn't make the 53. He's gone. I don't see him going to the practice squad. I can't.
Yeah, I don't even think we can get anything trade for him. I don't think we can get like a 5th to a 7th round pick for him.
Nope.
I don't think anyone's going to want to take that.
I mean, somebody will probably pick him up because it's just his height and he's fast and everything. He may work better in a different system. Who knows? He may change of scenery. May help. Granted, it's tough to say that for a kid this is his second year in the league, and to sit there and say maybe a change of scenery. Maybe that is what he needs. Who knows? A different style coach might light a fire in his ass. Who knows? But it ain't here.
Easily.
It ain't here. We didn't see enough from him last year. And yes, I know the development was bad last year. Pete Carroll even said, I'm not here to develop players. I'm here to win games. And he threw out that we're going to win 10. And we won 3. We did worse than the year before. So,
Yeah. Thanks for that, Pete. Give us that false hope right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Ricky Bears says the Raiders are getting the number 1 wide receiver in the draft. Be patient. Yeah, I told you that's why I'm along for the ride this year. We'll see what plays out this year. My expectations are below middle of the road because if we don't win, if we don't win a shit ton of games, I'm not going to crash out like some Raider fans that predict us to be in the playoffs. Anybody still pushing that we're going to be in the playoffs after what you saw last night? Not saying that we're going to be horrible this season, but it should give you reason to pause and reevaluate for now and to maybe sit back and wait till these next 2 preseason games are over and see who makes the 53, who gets cut. Some people, you may be surprised who gets cut from this roster. I'm serious. I think there's going to be some surprises when the roster cuts get down to 53. You're going to sit there and go, oh, shit, I didn't see that one coming. And I'm going to sit there and go, I'm not surprised because they didn't show enough. They didn't show enough last year, if it's any of those guys. And they're obviously not showing enough this year with a whole new coaching regime. So.
I totally agree. I think 2 of the cuts for sure are definitely on that wide receiver core right now for me. It's Thornton and Dorsett. Another one I think it's going to be gone is Laube, and I have a creeping suspicion that Hemby is going to beat out Laube.
I don't know. Laube's making a strong case for him. I don't think Laube is. If anything, he goes back to the practice squad like he has been. So Roy, that's what it was. I knew I read something to that effect. Roy just answered the Brandon Ayuk thing, and that's exactly what I saw. So he's on the reserve left squad list. He must reapply for reinstatement or be released by San Fran before any other team can sign him or negotiate with him. So it's the ball's in the 49ers court what they want to do after he applies for reinstatement. And that's if the NFL even says, oh, okay. I can't see why they wouldn't, but then it falls back to San Fran and they have a decision to make at that point.
That whole situation is just a dumpster fire right there. So
what's up, Chico?
I don't even think we should touch that. So, but I just wanted to chime in with the wide receivers. Wanted to see what you got. Definitely, like I said, the guys that caught my eye: Benson, Besh, Williams, and Roberts. They were all solid last night.
In all honesty, I think Shedrick Jackson, just based on how he was down the tail end of the season last year, and kind of what he's already, I think he's in the mix too. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, surprised. Definitely.
I like him.
I think we're going to have a couple spots that wide receivers going to fill special teams roles. I know Derek Young is definitely going to be.
He was out there.
Our special teams guy.
Yep.
So, I think we'll have enough roster room to keep 6 to 7 receivers, but we'll see.
Yeah, we got 14 on the roster right now between active roster, and I think there's 1 or 2 that are on injured right now. So we got 14 wide receivers in this room. That's a lot of wide receivers. That just goes to show you that we don't know what we got. So bring them all in.
It's going to be incredibly tough to cut some of these guys, especially if they're all producing. So, anyways, I'll let you go, man. I got dinner going.
I appreciate you calling in, man.
Hey, you stay safe out there, bud. God bless.
You too. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Right.
That was Next Effects, everybody calling in. Some great takes on that. Yeah, the wide receiver room is still scary. I mean, it's again, we all know Brock Bowers will be the number one target. I know they didn't throw to him last night. He was only out there for like 2 plays, and then he didn't come back out again, which I am absolutely fine with. Why you take a chance? I don't want him to get hurt, and it's the same reason why probably Max sat too. It's like, what's the sense in it? Let Kuntz get the burn, and Kuntz looked actually pretty decent coming in there for him. As far as on the Arizona side, Jeremiah Love, man, their running game's actually not that bad over there. Bonitas, or whatever, the guy they drafted, the offensive lineman, he went down. I haven't heard any reports on him. That's one of the guys I wouldn't mind taking instead. Especially if we saw the 14th pick. I forget where he went in the draft, but anyway, he went down with a knee injury from what it looked like. No report yet on. I haven't looked it up. I haven't had a chance today. I mean, it wasn't one of the blaring news things that came out when talking about, when I was researching everything for tonight. So, hopefully, pray to God that, he's okay too. You hate to see anybody get hurt. That's the downside. Jack is our betch option on 3rd down. Oh, your jokes are bad tonight, Savage. Hey, make sure next Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, I am going to be co-hosting again with Savage on the cage match. So make sure you guys get over to, if you haven't already, get over to the cage match. Go to YouTube, type in the cage match, subscribe to their channel. I'll be on next Wednesday night again. So that's fun. I like doing that show with him because Asylum's still overseas on a Black Op secret squirrel mission right now. Still, he's hunting for Osama bin Laden. Still, he doesn't know that we've already found him and he's dead, but he's still looking over there for him. He's fighting off Agent Orange too, and anything else you can find. James Fairfall, 17-0. Quit being negative, Super Bowl. Kool-Aid and tequila, baby. Absolutely, right? So phone line's still open, folks. If I don't get a phone call in the next 5 minutes, I'm probably going to call it a night. I'm at an hour and 45 minutes in now. So again, it's 401-830-9189. And don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that notifications, hit the subscribe, hit the thumbs up on this show. I'm coming to you live from YouTube. I'm on X and I'm on Twitch. So I know I had quite a few watchers last night on Twitch last night. It was the most I've had since I started it. I had a shit ton of people on X last night. At one point last night, we were rocking with like 120 people in the chats all combined. So that was actually pretty amazing. And that was all last minute. I decided at 7:30, I'm like, screw it. I'll go live during the game. And I'm glad I did because everybody that was in here was awesome. We had a good time last night. That was fun. Let's see. Where are we here with the chat? Where are we going? It's 2-1. Rorschach's really hammering Bueno about his fridge. I'm in bed with my boss. Ooh. That's kind of weird, but. And also, don't forget, tomorrow night, Raider Nation Voices, myself and Raiders First Downs, Jason Downs, will be on at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. Again, we'll be talking about the Raiders game, exclusively about the Raiders game and game coming up next week. And we'll also be taking your phone call, same number. So if you guys, even if you don't want to call in live, call in and leave a voicemail. After I shut the phone system down, leave a voicemail. We'll listen to the voicemails. That's what I need you guys to start calling and leaving voicemails. Even if they're funny, even if they make nonsense, I don't give a shit. Leave a voicemail. I'll play it. That's part of the whole humor of the show, too. So feel free. You can leave a voicemail anytime from now until next week. Don't matter. I can see the transcript. So if it's something important, I can answer it right away. But other than that, I'll play it live on the air. So you guys want to have fun with some voicemails and leave some funny messages? Go for it. That's the whole fun part of this. We'll do those on Saturday nights, though, the voicemails. Because on this show, when I start off, I want to cover the news of what just happened in the league in the last week. So once the season gets rolling and we start having games, I'll be able to do a lot more coverage as far as, just briefly going over the scores from the week before and everything. It's just going to be fun. It's going to be so much more fun. What did he say? I miss those annoying kids that used to call in and make Jeff shut off his phone. Like, yeah, the little bastards. Whatever it is, what it is, I don't care. So here's what I got going on, right? So I have my draft, my fantasy league that I've been in since like 91, 92 or whatever. Our commissioner hit us up last night. And I didn't want to send him an email. I wanted to wait and see if he was sending it out. So he finally sent out an email last night. We all got it, asking anybody that, we're going to start up the league this year. He wants to send out the email. He wants to know, he sent a text to us actually. He wants to know if we're all in or not. So at first I was like, and then I saw what he had picked for the draft. So the draft is going to be September 8th, which is Tuesday night. Okay. It's the night before I leave for Vegas. So my Tuesday night is going to be insane that night. So at 6:30 my time, our draft starts. Okay. At 9:00, while the draft is still going on, I have the chapter president's meeting for the Black Hole. And when that's over, while the draft is still going to be going on, I have the Most Notorious show. And keep in mind, it's my last show before I leave for Vegas. Okay. So when that show is over at like about midnight to 1:00 in that range somewhere, I have to shut everything down, pack up my computer, my laptop, my keyboard, my USB port, all the wires, everything, and finally pack up. That's like the last thing I have to. Actually, I may pack that up in the morning because my flight doesn't leave till 1:30, so I will have time. But still, I got to shut everything down. I'm going to unplug everything, so it's good to go. So it's just a matter of packing it all up. But it's like, man, the last day I'm going to be home, I can't even kind of like relax that night. It's like I got a million things going on that one time. It's like, good Lord. Thank God I can multitask. Some people can't multitask. Some people can't chew gum and walk at the same time. I got all this shit going on at the same time. Give me nuts. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. This is the Watchman headquarters. How may I help you?
Rorschach, and I rep the Raider Nation.
What's
This is
going
the
on?
journal for August 14th, 2026. Beep, beep. I'm Bueno's fridge, and I cannot let him speak right now.
You have Bueno's
This
diary?
Dude, this guy, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. I'm calling you, for Alex. Obviously, this guy is, Bueno's afraid for some reason. I don't know. I think he was the little kid that called in and made you shut the phone line. Why
Probably was.
Right? I mean, his voice.
That's why he misses it so much.
His voice always sounds so squeaky that he's always saying, "Not my gumdrop buttons" from Shrek. He's gingy. Yeah, Bueno, I know you're listening. So that's why I called in to flame you like you always get flamed by me or Alex. But it's actually 2-2 because, it's me and Alex against you and your fridge. And Bueno was on fire earlier with all these jokes, but we all know that his fridge is writing everything for him. And he's just typing it into this, his Google search on this fridge, and the AI is just responding like hella fast because he was just dropping them. And I said, stop with your jokes, dude. It's not fair. You're using AI in a computer, and I'm over here coming up with the top of my head, but I'll still win this. But get to football. I didn't really get to see the game yesterday because every 2 weeks I go to the barbershop. Yes, it's the luxury I have because I bust my ass, and you always got to keep the lettuce. I remember Jim Rome always saying you got to keep the lettuce tight. Yeah. Yes. So I was at the barbershop. I was trying to watch it on my phone, but man, I really couldn't. He had it on TV because it was on the local station here. Yeah. And I from what I could see, with, Kirk O'Chain's driving up, but we were already down 7-0. And then seeing a little bit of Mendoza going, the kid looked poised. and he didn't look phased. And when he came out, the other series, he looked, he got hit in the back because he didn't get the ball out quick enough. He decided to run, which he needs to protect himself. He'll clean all that up because he's a rook. But he looked unfazed to me. He looked like a guy that not learning this, just learning the system, but he looked like he knew it pretty much. But I know it's vanilla. We all know, right? This guy, this Broncos guy. Yeah, we're going to know in the preseason.
Oh, Randy.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. Hey, you crown yourself right now. The preseason, you can go 3-0, but it's what you do in
What's up, Mike?
In the regular season, right? But
yeah,
we know, it's a learning thing for us, and it's a growing expectation, and we know we're going to get better, and we're just trying to fill in the pieces. And what we saw last night was nothing. It was like double vanilla, because we're going to play them later on in the season, and I felt like this coach for the Arizona Cardinals was showing his hand a lot because they were doing a lot more than what they should have. Yeah, and plus they've been at it a little longer than we have. Remember, when you play the Hall of Fame game, I think you come in camp earlier.
Yeah, you do.
If I'm
you're the two teams that play start training camp usually almost a week earlier.
Yes.
So yeah, you know what? And I didn't even say that part. So yeah, you're right. So not only have they already played a game, but they also got a week sooner start in training.
Yes.
Too.
So they're a week ahead. This is their second game. Of course, and I already knew what it was going to look like. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen this, and we know. I mean, if it looks good, if they win, fine. If we saw him, good shit, which we did. I mean, the defense, yeah, but most of the starters weren't even out there anyway. From what I saw, I recorded the game, so I'm going to go back and watch it tomorrow.
Roy just said in the chat that Mendoza was easily our best rookie last night. Yeah, Washington was definitely the next up after that for sure. So I would say Mendoza was the best rookie last night.
He was zipping balls in tight windows, pause if necessary.
Well, think about it. Based on the rookies, him in Washington got the most play out of all the rookies that we drafted.
Yes. I saw the 50-yard run through Graf's shorts this morning. And,
that sounds so wrong the way you just said it, but okay.
I know. His shorts, his light shorts, those little, 30, 40
his shorts this morning.
I know. I just went bueno right there, right? I'm over here thinking about poor guy.
I just sent you a text. I don't know if you got it.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't think so. Hold on. I can look. Hold on.
Minshew was the MVP last night, Savage said. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay. So that'll be great.
And I can't bring it up the same time because that's right now the shared window, so I have to share the window in order.
Yes. So flame on, man! Like what's his name says from the Fantastic Four, Johnny Storm. Flame on. Flame on. So yeah, I mean. So yes, well, those 30-second clips that you guys always have those.
The shorts, yeah.
Yeah. So I saw the 50-yard run on that, and it looked good. But again, like I said, I didn't get to see it, so I'm going to go back and watch it and critique it from there. But from what I saw, hey, it's positive, man. I mean, look, the defense usually takes a couple of games. Especially this is a new complete system for Max. It is.
Yeah, he didn't even play last night, so that's the only thing. He wasn't even out there, so.
No. So this is going to be a completely new thing. And I just finished the second episode of the Hard Knocks. And I've been watching this lately, the past couple of years. I think
where they went this year? I didn't even look at it.
They're in Seattle. And what the guy said, McDonald or whatever his name is, for that coach there, trying to get these guys to buy in the same system and the same thing 2 years in a row, especially the vets and the rookies, is a hard thing to sell, and it's true. So this guy's going to try to sell this system to to the guys here at our team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're buying in, but it's it's like you said, you got to make that tackle, you got to set that edge, you got to make that cut in this run, you got to throw in this tight window to this receiver. It's going to take time. And look, man, you just got to stay positive, everybody. You're not everybody. Like I said, they have their own opinions, but you got to stay positive and ride this ship, because we do have a captain. We do have, the crew.
I'm the captain now.
Yes, Skipper. So we have all that in this new ship, and I have all the faith in the world, because the way they talk and the way these players are talking and everything, it looks and sounds great, but we just got to turn it into wins. But it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
No. And we just got to be patient, and it's going to be great, I think, because we actually have it. And we just got to let them cook, man. It's going to take time. Yeah. The first couple of dinners, it's not going to be great, but man, it gets better as the time goes on, and we're going to get better as time goes on. These 3 games in preseason there's vanilla thing, and the third one, it's going to be all probably second, third.
It's going to be all the guys that are trying to get game footage out there, for the next team they're going to end up on, because most of those guys in that third preseason game are going to be the guys that are going to get cut. So it's their chance to hopefully make a name for themselves. Go out there and lace somebody out. Show that you've got the tenacity to hit like a son of a bitch out there. You can go out there and create plays, even though it's against the threes from the other team. It's still a guy that's in the NFL right now that's still vying for a position. So any positivity or anything positive you can pull out of it, go for it. So as soon as you hang up, I'm going to play a video for everybody real quick. Bueno, you still here? I want to show you something.
The second game is actually going to be the game that we're going to see more of him, and you're going to see more of the starters a little bit. And probably maybe not, but you're going to see a lot more Mendoza and some of the rooks, and you'll see. So whether and again, it's going to be vanilla as well, but it's what they can do with that vanilla package that is going to make us go wow with some of the stuff. So hey, props to you, Jeff. Again, it's good texting you, brother. Hey, I just try to come on, and obviously this guy's scared for some reason. He's always asleep when the street lights come on, because here in California, the sun is starting to set, and this guy's in bed by 7 o'clock. I know he gets up early, but that boss comment, "I'm in bed with my boss," didn't sound too good.
Yeah, that was weird.
You might want to rephrase that. I think what he was mentioning is,
he's still
I'm in
at work
bed with my boss, which is his wife. He could have
must work at a mattress factory or something with his boss. That's the only thing I could think of.
So, for everybody, for Dixon, Ardell, Sacktown, Rosetown, everybody that's in here, if I didn't mention you, have a good weekend. Enjoy, the next coming game. And if you can see it on the replay, just look at the positives, man. Last year, I didn't really see it. I didn't really see any positives, even in preseason. So from what I got to see, it looked positive. So take it, we've been watching this game a long time. And for some of you young guys, hey, this actually looked positive. So just relax. It's only going to get better day by day and game by game, and then year by year. We're all hoping, right? We all have that hopium that Charger guy had on the other day on your show, where he was just wearing those glasses, because every year, the Chargers are always saying, yeah, we're going to be this and we're going to be in the Super Bowl. And I just saw another thing that Herbert's going to be MVP, and it's like every freaking year, these Charger guys, and you found a guy, trying to find a Charger fan is like finding a needle in a haystack. So I guess it is true. You can find a needle in a haystack. And this kid was on there and just wearing his glasses, and it's hopium, and hey, you can have all the hopium you want. Yeah. But you gotta win. And for him to be in third place, he should have been at the end of the row, because he has no rings. So from the next time you had these guys on. So it'll be, you, the Bronco guy, the Chiefs guy, and then him because he's got no ring, so you can't talk.
No, it'll be the same way. I'm not going to change it. It'll be the same setup. 3 live people and then an empty chair.
Sure. So,
because if I go by that realistic thing, that means I got to put the Chiefs in front of me. No.
Yeah, that's true. Nah, we'll do that. But I still say leave the Charger guy in last place. I think that looks perfect. But have a good one, and I'll skip to the live right now because I want to see what this thing that you want to play. So have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow too. So Bueno needs to call in tomorrow.
He won't.
For sure. But he won't. Yeah. All righty.
All right,
have
brother.
a good one.
Later.
See ya. All right, bye.
All right, phone lines are off. So I am going to share this tab instead. I have to.
Rocking the high socks, dog. This fool's rocking the fucking 1776s, homie. This fool's rocking the fucking Paul Revere ones. This fool's rocking the hear ye's, homie. The founding fathers. This fool's about to sign the fucking Declaration of Independence. Be our guest, ass fool. Homeboy's rocking the fucking Boston Tea Party 9s. Fool's rocking the fucking Plymouth Rock 2s. Fool's got on the fucking Boston Tea Parties. This fool's rocking the fucking Mayflower 6s. Homeboy's rocking the fucking Captain Crunch 11s. The 4 scores and 7 years ago 7s. Where's me magic patroscante? This fool's going to fucking Shrek's kickback with those. This fool borrowed those shits from Captain Morgan. This fool's rocking the Beethoven 3s. The big homie Yankee Foodle. Damn.
Oh, that was good. Oh my God. If your son is blue and orange, then you got fucking eye problems because the sun is not blue. Jesus Christ. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. It's been 2 hours. Yankee Foodie. Foodle. That shit was funny. I saw that. I was like, oh my God. The high socks and everything. He's representing he's repping the 1776s. All right, everybody, we're out of here. And we'll see you all next week. And like I always say, stay safe and still go Raiders, baby. Thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate you all. Remember, tomorrow night, Raider Nation Voices, myself and Jason. Tune in, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. You're welcome, everybody. Good night.